Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, and I'm back again for another guitar lesson, and this one is going to be something a little bit different. Obviously, for people that have followed my channel for a long time, you'll know that I often cover jazz, blues, rock, country, all of these kind of softer genres, but just recently I uploaded this. Now, I have a long history in the kind of progressive rock and metal scene. That's something that I absolutely love. I grew up on that sound. Bands like Symphony X and Dream Theater, like, they were everything to the younger Levi. And there's been a massive boost in popularity of that kind of progressive thing thanks to bands like Periphery, bands like Tesseract, doing the kind of modern progressive metal thing that people will often call Djent, right? And it's a genre that I'm definitely interested in. It's not really a genre that I particularly consider myself an expert in, but it's a genre I definitely like listening to. So just recently I did a video testing out my Ormsby Goliath, this 7-string multi-scale, and comparing that to my Mayonnaise Duvel, which was a straight fret guitar, and I wanted to compare those and see how they sounded. And in order to do that, I wrote a riff. I wrote a short piece, as you heard in that intro. And the idea behind that was just to write something that I thought sounded cool, was fun. And I ended up writing something that was in 7/4, largely in 7/4. There's some sections in 4/4, but we'll talk about those. And I thought it would be fun to just kind of break down that idea of writing something in a time signature other than 4/4, or just getting the feel for playing for something that's not in a regular time signature. So if you do enjoy this video, please do make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notifications and all of that stuff, you know. Need to make those plugs. I'm going to switch camera angles. Check this. Boom! Thank you very much to my Patreon supporters. You know, you are ever helping me to improve my videos. This is what Skype lessons look like now. I can now switch between cameras like this in Skype lessons, and that's awesome. So thank you very much. Anyway, so let me just play the first riff for you so you can get a feel for what that sounds like. It sounds like this. I just noticed you play that entire thing with just 2 fingers, so this is kind of like a Django Reinhardt metal riff, if you like. And I think the important thing to understand when I play that is not in 4/4. If you tap your foot along to it, ba bum bum da 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 dum bum ba da 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 bum bum ba da da 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2. That's the count for it. So 1 2 3 4 and 1 2 3 adds up to 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 1. That's how I wrote the riff. And this wasn't planned. I didn't think to myself, I didn't set out to write a riff that was in 7/4. I've just spent a lot of time listening to bands like, as I said earlier, Symphony X. And if you check out their song Nevermore, which is from their last record actually, Underworld, many of the riffs in that song are in 7. I'm going to embarrass myself now by trying to remember one. There's a riff in there like that. That's just before the chorus. And if you count that again, that's in 7. So I think I've exposed myself to enough music that 7 feels like a relatively acceptable time signature to me. So in order to learn this riff, what I think would be important to do is get a feel for where these notes actually fall in the bar. So I think it's really useful to listen to a riff before you play it and really understand what it sounds like. You'll notice earlier I clicked my fingers and I could vocalize the riff over the top of that. Da 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 ba bum ba da ba ba. I think that's really, really important. Now, of course, there is a tab that you can download for this up on my Patreon page if you want to really go into detail in the notation. But I'm just giving you the basic idea of how you would go about learning something like this, or how I would go about practicing something like this. So, assuming I have my tempo, I'm not going to immediately run at this riff in 7 from the start and try and get to the end. I'm going to get a feel to really lock into the groove of where that first part falls. So I would count myself in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go. Sorry, it's not on the E string. 3, 4. So that's all on the 2nd fret with those pre-bends. Open string. And then jump over to the E string, we have a triplet. And then we come down to the B string and we play 3-2 open. Now you'll notice I'm practicing in time. I'm not messing around when we're going. Everything is always in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't really have a great way of doing this in a lesson like this, but I could have a click track playing throughout all of that, and everything I practice in this will be in time. So once I've got that, bum, 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 da 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 da, feeling where that next note falls in place is important. Now you could describe it based on the notation. Bum, 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 da 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 da. It starts on the 2nd 16th note of, what would that be? Bum, 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 da 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 da, of beat 4. Bum, 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 da 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 ba bum. Feeling that. So that's the first part of that riff. And then to finish it, I was bored of just playing on those low strings. So I tried to be a little bit more Meshuggah about things. And when I say a little bit more Meshuggah, playing a low note and then a higher note. So I'm shifting up to the 3rd fret of the B string and then jumping over to the 4th fret of the A string. And the whole point of a riff like that is it should groove. You should be able to really bang your head. Bam, bam. You want a riff like that it's not quite a breakdown, but you want everybody that listens to that to really bang their head. And of course, my version of that, my recording of that, was made a lot better by Lee Costanza doing those drum bits on it, which, take everything to the next level. So again, thank you, Lee, for that. Now, after playing that for a bit, I actually jump up to a chord, and the chord voicing would be 6 on the low B string, 7 on the E string, and then 5 on the D string. You could look at this as lots of things, diminished triad, but I think I'm probably looking at it as being a dominant 7 chord, with this being the 7th of the chord. I'm hesitating here because I'm playing on a 7 string, so yeah, G. I think of this as being a G7. If you were to play like a G7 chord to me, and all I play is I pick. This is all down picking, of course. I pick the highest note, and then double pick the lowest note of a palm mute, and I'm alternating between that high string and then the E string. And this is in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, I can vocalize it before I play it. That's a huge help. Now I went back into the riff here. I played around with lots of things that I could do there. I was moving it around. Or things like I was playing around to see, what I could do compositionally, but really just the feel of going from that kind of groovy 7/4 feel and then jumping into something much more intense felt effective, especially with the change in drum feel. I was okay with that. Back to the 7/4 riff. Now, the final riff, this is the slightly more challenging one, and to be honest, all I was trying to do here was summon a bit of John Brown, a bit of Monuments, because John, he plays in open D sus4 tuning, or variants of open B flat sus4 if he's playing on 7-string, and what that allows him to do is play a lot more open strings because he has a lot of doubled strings. So there's a lot of open strings in this riff because I'm trying to imitate that, and what I do is I'm playing on the E string, play the open E string, and hammer 5 to 8. Then we jump down to our B, open B, and then 5 pull off the B. And then to finish, so after playing, we hit that open B again, we're then doing 7 pull off, and then 4 pull off. And then we hit the open B, and then first fret, and then double open B. And again, you want that to groove. You want to be able to bang your head. Everything with a down pick, because you want this to sound tight and aggressive. Actually, the drums on that are double time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that kind of feel. After playing that 3 times, actually hit that just once. We then have this, and this to me was very John Brown. I go. So that's me hitting 10 on the, D string. 7 string really throws me off. 10 on the D, 7 on the A, slide that down to 5, and then pull off to the open string. And again, I'd go for all downstrokes. I know it's not efficient, but tone-wise and, kind of feeling-wise, that's why. We jump down to the low B, palm muted 6th fret, 7 on the A, A, and then, 5 on the A, and then 7 on the D. And that has a feel to it. I wanted to resolve that tension. I go to the 6th fret of the D string. And then kind of the fun part and the tricky part is we come down to play an open picking idea. We go harmonic minor. So that's 3 D string, 3-2-0, 3-2-0 on the A, and then 4 on the E string. Oh, sorry. Then you can repeat the idea. Now on the repeat, because we're going back to that riff, I don't want to end in a place that allows me to play an E. I want to resolve to a B. So after playing this, I come down to play this open picking run again, but we actually add onto the bottom of it. So we actually extend that to a bar of 5/4 now. We have the, but then add another 4 notes, and that gives us a feel of 5. That's a bar of 5. 5 clicks in there. So if I play that entire C section, if you like this. And then a bit faster. You get the idea. And that's the entirety of that riff, or that idea. Something fun to play, something fun to think of, and hopefully, at least for me, playing something like that, or at least working on something like that, isn't just about the playing side of things. Mostly it's about inspiring the compositional side of things. After I wrote that, I was really amped for the idea of sitting and writing more music. And that is the most important thing, I think. I'm in a writing mood again. I'm in a recording mood again. And yeah, anything that gets you inspired like that is always a good thing. So do you have any questions about that? 7/4, time signature of 7/4, shifting 7/4, 5/4, 4/4, lots of different time signatures in there. Any thoughts, any feedback on that, please do let me know in that comments section below. Didn't intend for that to rhyme, but it did, so such is life. I just want to say an extra special thanks to my supporters over on Patreon. You guys rock. You bought the second camera angles in here. And these are all going to improve now, actually, because I've used my Patreon money the last couple of months to buy some brand new cameras. Currently, I do all my videos on webcams, actually, believe it or not. It's a Logitech Brio and a Logitech C920 down here. But these are all being upgraded to Sony A7s. So we'll have much better video content soon, and that is all thanks to your support. So thank you very much. It really does mean a lot. If that doesn't appeal, you can also head on over to Amazon, have a look for Levi Clay, check out one of my books. I have a lot of them, and yeah, you will probably find something you enjoy. Actually, probably not if you're doing the metal thing, because I don't have any metal books, but you get the idea. Great way to support the channel, okay? Make sense? Cool. Much love. Thank you very much, guys. If you would like to check me out on Patreon, you can do so by clicking this button up here. You can subscribe by clicking this button down here, and you will see 2 more of my videos here and here. As I say, any questions, let me know in that comment section. Much love one more time, and I will see you for another video real soon. Goodbye.